Welcome back, Owls. How are you doing? How are you? How are you? How are you? I'm so tired today. I almost overslept. Didn't oversleep, thank goodness. Guys, I made it. My eyes are fully awake, even though they're slightly closed. You're not dead? Guys, I have so many crazy things to tell you about today. So many freaking crazy things to tell you about today. I had the weirdest dream. Just now before I woke up. And it's strange because I still remember a lot of the details from that dream. I don't even know if it was a dream. It seemed more like a thriller, horror, night terror instead of a dream. It wasn't nice. I just felt like it was very uncomfortable. It wasn't like a horror movie kind of situation, but it did involve me low-key dying at the end. So I guess it was a nightmare. Yeah, dreams are usually your brain's way of telling you something. Well, let me tell you about them now, because I think I have an explanation as to why I'm having these kind of strange dreams. But firstly, welcome to my study stream. Thank you guys for being here and accompanying me and being my study buddies. Can't wait to get this study session rolling. Sorry again for having to reschedule this to another day, just because we were really busy on a Friday. We had 2 streams then, and then I worked last night to this morning, and it was really busy. I actually was supposed to work overtime. It was my overtime shift last night, but I was also supposed to work Friday night for overtime. And I decided to call out just because I was too tired, and also I would rather stream than go to work. I was like, I wanted to stream more than going to work, so I canceled my overtime. But I decided to go on Saturday night instead, and it ended up being the busiest night ever. I wouldn't say as busy as like 2 weeks ago, but the respiratory season is in full swing. You know how last week I was telling you guys that we were preparing ourselves for an influx of admissions due to a respiratory virus season? Well, it's happening already, and the floor is full. And we got like so many admissions last night. So many admissions that I didn't even have time to eat or drink anything. Well, I had time to drink water. At least I had my little water bottle with me. Every time I had some downtime to just like go back to my computer and chart, I was chugging water. But I didn't have time to have a break or eat my food last night. So obviously I made sure to be paid out for that. So I had no meal, no break last night because it was just an influx of admissions left and right to the point that our entire unit became full. How's the tummy? Feels much better. I recovered really, really well 24 hours after the whole ordeal. So I told you guys I have an iron stomach. It only hurts in the moment, but then after that, my stomach feels fine. And I didn't have any weird poops, okay? I checked. I did not have any strange poops afterwards. Yeah. I was just very curious. They were not blue. The flu season is in full swing. Yep. Hi, Andrew. Oh, I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Oh, you got to stream early. Hi, Charles. Congratulations. You're here. Well, you get to hear my crazy stories. my pre-stream Zatsus, or my pre-actual stream topic here, Satsu. No blue duties. No blue duties. No. We didn't. Well, we were curious about it last time, right? Didn't you guys want to know? But it was. I can say in full confidence that no, it was not. It was not a blue duty at all. It was a regular. I So I admitted like a bunch of kids with all these respiratory illnesses. And they're all like babies. So another thing that makes it really difficult is that they're like babies and they're toddlers and they're so irritable and they're in pain and they're spiking fevers left and right. So it's like when one kid has a fever, the other kid has a fever, and then there's a baby who's crying uncontrollably, that's inconsolable. And I remember I was standing in one of my baby's rooms for like almost an hour trying to help soothe the baby. And I tried every single technique that I knew of trying to soothe babies. And usually it works. And at first it did work. But then he just got really, really irritable again. And mom was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm just going to hold him and sleep. And I was like, but please don't fall asleep while holding him because you might smush him. So that's my biggest fear, is that like parents take their babies out of the crib and then fall asleep with their babies in the chair. And the last thing I want is for them to drop their baby or to accidentally roll over onto their baby. So I had to like check in on her every few minutes or so and make sure she wasn't falling asleep. Anyways, our ICU was really busy too. If our floor was full, our ICU was even fuller. We had like six respiratory kids. These are kids that need to be on like ventilator support because of the flu. And so we have a lot of kids on high flow nasal cannula, which essentially is just regular. It's like, not regular oxygen, but you know what a nasal cannula is? It's the thing that goes in your nose that gives you oxygen. But some kids, they just can't, they need a little more pressure support. So they need oxygen with a little more flow, like pressure, essentially. To help expand their lungs. So they go on high flow nasal cannula, and high flow nasal cannula is like a step above regular oxygen. And they need to be on like continuous monitoring because that means that they essentially almost can't breathe for themselves. Like their lungs need to have extra support. And if they fail high flow nasal cannula, then they have to go on ventilator support, which is like BiPAP, CPAP. And then eventually if they don't succeed with BiPAP, CPAP, then they're gonna have to go into, they have to be intubated, unfortunately. It's really, that's really scary. So we have a lot of kids on BiPAP, CPAP, high flow, which is like fine, whatever, I'm used to that. But then we had this one kid who's really, really sick. They have this metabolic / congenital disease / disorder that is terminal. And as per some of my coworkers, because I didn't take care of this patient, but they told me that this kid's life expectancy, like children born with this disease don't live past the age of like 2 years old. I think the oldest living case of this congenital disorder was like 24 months. Like they survived at 24 months. So we have this almost 24-month-old child who is essentially a vegetable, like paralyzed, trached, eyes dilated. And apparently a few months ago, they suffered like a really, really catastrophic cardiac arrest. And it's funny because they were actually hospitalized at my old hospital, so my coworkers know this patient. They're like, oh, you have that patient? Oh, they were in our hospital and they arrested and they were there for 3 months and you have them now? And I'm like, yeah, they're just here because they got some respiratory viruses, so now we gotta look after them. And they're like, oh yeah, we had like one of my coworkers who works in my old hospital also works at this current hospital per diem. So she's like, oh my goodness, I'm very familiar with this patient. So just like looking at her and knowing about her situation, I don't know, I feel like it really just like impacted me a lot because I've come across a lot of kids with like terminal diseases, and it was just really sad to see this little kid and knowing that they're probably not going to survive the next few months. They're hopefully I hope that they could survive at least till the end of this year, but it doesn't look like it because they are like inching towards that date. But they are on palliative care, so it's a little kiddo on palliative care basically. So I was just like really sad and also just like really tired from yesterday. So I passed out, and when I slept, I had this dream, guys. Okay, not dream. It was a dream, but it was not a nice dream. And I told Mama Athi this as soon as I woke up, because I woke up like 30 minutes ago. I woke up like 45 minutes ago, and I was able to recall some of the details, although most of it I forgot. Though I can still remember the lingering feeling I have, which is like this sense of like, I don't know, it's like doom and gloom. I have like this doom and gloom feeling. It's like a very heavy feeling on my chest. Do I ever dream journal? I've never dream journaled, but I have had like wackadoodle dreams. And I know they're all related to my line of work because all of my dreams have something to do like medically. Although my night terror dreams are not as frequent as they were before when I used to work at like a really bad hospital. This is the first time in a really long time that I've had like a very strange, vivid dream, to the point that I actually felt like I was there in the dream. So I can't really tell you the details. All I can tell you about this dream is that it involved me acquiring some sort of disease. So it kind of reminded me of when we were talking about biological warfare. So what had happened was I was like with a group of friends, and we stumbled across some sort of artifact. And when we touched this artifact, there was like a needle. It was almost like Sleeping Beauty when she pricked her needle on the spinning wheel. Like we had pricked our fingers, or maybe we had like cut our skin open and exposed ourselves to this thing. And then we were told by some government official that we were going to suffer some debilitating disease if we didn't get a antidote/vaccine for it. So this is like the first half of the dream. So in the first half of the dream, hi Werewolf, how are you? In the first half of the dream, it was me and my friends going to like this government facility. We had a lawyer with us. I very vividly remember this lawyer character. I don't know what they look like, but I remember him being like an important character in my dream. And we had this lawyer come with us to help read through all of like these contracts and help basically represent us in court, because there was like a chance that we were going to get arrested for, I guess we were trespassing or doing something illegal. And the lawyer helped kind of convince them that we were not, and get the vaccine for us and told us the vaccine was fine. So we got this vaccine and we were like, okay, great, we're going to be safe. But I remember them telling us, okay, this is what's going to happen if you don't get the vaccine. You're eventually going to like slowly die in some way. I can't remember what the symptoms were. Then after that whole ordeal, like a few months later, I was in a school, and I guess I was a student in the school. So let's just say that I had a dream where I was back in high school. And I remember it was specifically not even my high school building. It was my elementary school building. But either way, they kind of look the same. I was in school and I was curious about something. I guess I was looking for something, and I went to the top of the school building onto the roof. And on the roof, there's like a big security camera on a pole. So I like climbed up this pole, and I guess I was trying to like find some security footage that I guess would incriminate me, or I was just curious about some security footage. I was doing like an investigation. It was either that I was doing an investigation into that security footage, or I just wanted to delete that security footage because I guess it had security footage of me and my friends touching that like forbidden artifact that diseased us. And next to the camera, the security camera, was another like electrical box. And I thought that if I opened it, it would help me get into the security footage. But when I opened it, I like got like zapped, like electrocuted. I could feel like on my fingertip that some sort of electricity, like very sharp shooting pain kind of just like shot through my entire arm. And I was like, ow. And I kind of like burned myself and I was like, oh no. And then when that electricity sparked, suddenly an alarm went off, and it went off for like 5 seconds, like not even 5 seconds. It went off for like 2 seconds, but it resounded throughout the entire school. It was almost like I set off an alarm for 2 seconds when I got electrocuted. So then I climbed back down and I ran out of the roof, like off of the roof, because I didn't want to get caught. I was trespassing as well. This was like not allowed. So I ran down and then, went about my day. And then all of a sudden the principal calls and was like, I need everybody. This is an emergency assembly. Everybody needs to come to the hall right now. So I was like, oh no, I'm gonna be in trouble. Did I get caught? Because they found out that I like triggered an alarm. So we all went to the assembly hall. I remember this vividly. We were all in the assembly hall and the principal was like, somebody here touched something that they should not have. And it's very, very, very dangerous. And then he went on about some other things. And then eventually he was like, the person, like whoever you are, let yourself be known. Who, like, just give yourself up right now. Who is it here that touched the security camera on the roof or something like that? And then I was about to like raise my hand and he was like, the person who touched the security camera on the roof is going to have symptoms like this. And then he showed a picture on like the screen. And it was a picture of like someone's arm with like these yellow crusts on them. It looked like these yellow, it wasn't even like warts. It just looked like yellow spots that were like crusting on the person's arm. Whoever touched the security camera is going to end up getting these like yellow crusts on their arm. And I looked up on my arm, I looked down on my arm and I saw these like yellow formations starting to crust up all on my skin. And I was like, I'm just going to give myself up. So I did. I raised my hand and I was like, I touched it. And then he was like, okay, well, then we need to get this sorted. So then everyone left and I was there. And again, it was like the whole FBI government official, like what do you call it? The Environmental Protection Agency all came and they were explaining to me that I touched some biological warfare thing that I should not have, that was like top secret, and that these were the symptoms that I was gonna experience after touching it include like my epiglottis was essentially going to swell up so tight that I couldn't breathe. So I would end up getting a tracheostomy. And then eventually my muscles will start to just jiffy. And then it was like very similar to having ALS in a way. So it was like they were basically telling me that I acquired ALS and Lou Gehrig's disease is what other people know it as. And they were like, even if you get the vaccine for this now, like there's no guarantee that you'll be able to, go back to your normal life. It might be too late already and you might have to live with like a tube in your throat for your entire life. And I remember like thinking to myself, like, this is devastating. Will I ever go back to living a normal life again? Like, will I be able to hike mountains? Will I be able to go run? Will I be able to go swim? And I was thinking that was like so sad that I wouldn't be able to do any of those things. So then my lawyer was there with me and he was like, okay, we're going to read through this contract together. We have to go through, like, it's a very formal procedure where we have to go to court. We have to, get approved for this vaccine. And I'm going to read through the contract with you. And then we're going to sign the papers to get the vaccine together. Like, obviously I wasn't going to sign anything without a lawyer with me. So then I was talking one-on-one with my lawyer. And my lawyer was like, okay, we can do two things. Either I could go in there and we can do this whole thing like we did before and sign the papers and get the vaccine, or, and then he like slammed this giant piece of paper on the desk. And he was like, or we can have, I don't even know why I specifically thought of the word expunge, I guess he was like, or we could expunge this whole thing, which means, I guess expunge means to like destroy, remove like information, right? But he was like, or we can expunge everything, right? We could just remove all this information. You don't need to get this vaccine. That's what the word he specifically used was expunged. And then there was like this big stack of papers on top of it had like the words expunged on it, or expunge on it. So I was like, okay, so I could do two things. I could either get the vaccine or I could not, and everything will get expunged. I guess because I thought it was slightly illegal, the things that I did, like I acquired some like illegal, not illegal, but some like bio warfare got into my body. And now I guess I don't really want people to know about it. Either way, I thought about it very long and hard, and I realized at the end my decision was to be that I didn't want to get the vaccine, and I was just very content if I died. Like I was like, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. I deserve it for the things that I did. Like I just felt very guilty at that moment for, I guess, breaking. I didn't even break the law. I wasn't even breaking the law, for doing something to myself like that. Basically, I felt guilty for putting myself in that situation. And I said, okay, these are the consequences of my actions. Let's just do the expungement. So the lawyer went in and was like, hey, we're not going to get the vaccine. And then everybody was shocked. Everyone in the room was like, are you sure? Like, you're going to die. And I was like, I literally told everybody, I'm content with dying. Like, I'm okay with dying. That's what I told everybody. And they were like, okay, you do you. I was like, you know what? It's like, I deserve it. I deserve it. If I die, I die. If I don't die, I don't die. It's like, whatever. It's like a 50-50 chance. We don't know if I'm going to die. Do I really need the vaccine? Whatever. I'm not going to get the vaccine. So then that was it. That was the end of my dream. I was just like, okay, I'm going to live my whole life not knowing what the hell I just touched, even though everyone kind of told me I was going to die. But is it true? Is it not true? I don't know. Maybe they were gaslighting me into getting this vaccine. Maybe it's not true. Maybe I touched absolutely nothing. And they were just trying to inject some like crazy experimental treatment into me. And maybe they were trying to spy on me or something. Maybe they were going to inject like a tracker in me. I don't know. We don't know. So that's it. That's all I could say. And I just remember feeling like content with like, I don't know, not like death. It's not saying that I'm like I want to like die or anything like that. It was just like I just felt happy that I didn't have to follow the rules. Like I felt okay with giving up my life to something that I didn't know what was going to happen. So it was like kind of that feeling of like, imagine someone told you you only had like 6 months to live. And it was like that feeling where you know you only have 6 months to live, but you're content with that. Like you've accepted that, right? You're okay with that. You have no regrets in your life is what I'm trying to say. So I had that feeling where it's like, okay, whatever. Like I'm okay. Am I okay with leaving things the way they are? I am. I'm fine with that. And that was my dream. Hello. I made peace with it. Yeah. So that was my dream last night. I don't know what it means. Does anybody here want to try and analyze this for me? I just know that the whole like terminal illness thing definitely was it was because I took care of, but I had a patient on my floor last night that is terminal. And I guess thinking about her made me think about my own like mortality in a way. And in this line of work, you always think about like, okay, what if I was like the people I took care of? Like, what if I had some sort of terminal illness? Like, what does it feel like to be the people I take care of? Like, I'm trying to put myself in their shoes. So a lot of my dreams are about me putting myself in my patient's shoes. I don't know. I know the freedom is amazing. Like, I'm just content with, I'm not scared of dying is what I'm trying to say. Is like when I get old and I'm on my deathbed or if anything happens to me tomorrow, I'm just like, okay with it. Which, to be fair, as a healthcare professional is a little concerning, because when someone says that to me, I'm like, are you planning something? Because let me tell you, okay, this is another crazy thing that happened last week. So we have a resident doctor who has a lot of like mental health issues. So unfortunately, they were not able to complete their residency. They had to drop out of the residency, but I remember them like being really, really nice. Just, you can tell that they had a lot of things going on. They were all over the place, weren't really speaking coherently, and you can tell that their mind just wasn't working well. And so I heard that they checked themselves into like a residential, like a program for mental health, and that they weren't doing that great. Like they lost a lot of weight. And so after they dropped out of the program, the other residents, have just been like checking up on them, making sure they're okay. And then one night last week, one of the residents came in, lugging in this giant luggage. And it reminded me of the resident, because that resident that left used to always lug around, like she would bring a whole luggage to the hospital, and it was just full of her like stuff. Because the residents, they do 24-hour shifts sometimes. So for her 24-hour shift, she would bring her whole luggage full of like her things, clothes. I don't know what else were in there. So one resident came and was like, oh, I just got this delivery from that resident that we know. And they said that they wanted to give us a bunch of things. And so we went through the luggage. I was like, that's a very flamboyant looking luggage. It was like this bright pink, shiny suitcase. And I was like, and the resident was like, yeah, they wanted to just drop it off. They said they wanted to give us some things. So we all went through it together. There was like random ass things in there. There was like some smushed up pizza, and like the pizza boxes were smushed up. I don't even know how old that pizza was, but there was like pizzas in there. There were her old belongings in there. There were a pair of headphones in there, Bose headphones in there. And this resident, she labeled each one of her objects and wrote little notes on them. Like, this is for this resident, and I'm giving this to this resident. She would put the resident's name on them, like all of her friends' names on them. There was alcohol in there. There were drinks. There were snacks. There were like little tchotchkes, like a little mirror that says like, don't call in the demons. There were some neon signs, like some desk accessories. It was just like the most random thing. And then my charge nurse was like, I'm concerned. Is she giving away her belongings? And we know her history. She has like a history of depression, manic depression. Is this like her telling us that she's ready to let go? Like, I'm genuinely concerned. Like, can you call her? Can you make sure she's like alive tomorrow? And we were all freaking out because we were like, this is the telltale sign of someone who's ready to let go. Because she just gave away all of her personal belongings to us. Like, what? Yeah. We were so scared, guys. We were freaking out. We were trying to call her and everything and make sure she was okay. Because that was not okay. That was not okay. So a telltale sign of like someone who's ready to like, let themselves go is giving away their personal belongings, right? And we all learned that in school. That's like one of the symptoms. So it was really scary for us when we realized that this resident who obviously wasn't doing well mentally, all of a sudden that's like showed up at in front of the hospital. And the resident who saw her was like, she doesn't look great. She looked like she lost a lot of weight. She looked like she was a total mess. Her hair wasn't made. She was wearing her pajamas. She came up in an Uber and dropped off this giant luggage full of things. I don't know if she's okay now. I didn't ask because I don't have like her contact number or anything, but it was just, we were all thinking the same thing is what I'm trying to say, is we were all thinking the same thing. Yeah. Are they okay? I'm not sure. I have no idea. But that happened last week. Yeah, didn't know what to do with it. There were some very expensive things on there, like very expensive things. There was like this Cartier bottle of champagne. The Bose headphones for one were in there. There were like electronic devices in there. I don't know if she just like didn't want them anymore. Maybe she didn't want them. Maybe she wasn't giving up her personal effects. Maybe she was just... And then also it's... One of my friends were like, maybe this isn't her giving up her personal things. This is just her personality, because she's very like quirky and very strange. So giving away like weird random stuff like this is within her personality. And I trust my coworker because she actually just graduated as a psych NP. So she was telling me that she wasn't too concerned because this does not seem like out of the norm for her. Usually if it's like giving away personal affects and that's like something that's not typical of their behavior, then that's when you would be concerned. But she was like, oh, she seems like the type of person who would give you really random gifts for your birthday or like give away random stuff from time to time. Like that is within her personality. So I'm not concerned that this might be something more. So we were like, okay, we trust you, Miss Psych NP. You studied for it anyway. Yeah. Anyways, people, going back to my own dream. Let me see. What do you guys think about my biological warfare dream? Sounds like a stress dream, Kay says. Does it? Am I planning something? Nah. I'm planning to take over the world. That's what I am planning to do. Planning to create an nation. Yeah. Plan to be a full-time streamer. That's my dream. That's my only dream right now. Plan to pass this freaking exam. That's all I care about. I need to pass this goddamn certification exam. And then after that, I'm gonna take over the world. Yeah. I think it's a recap dream. Interesting. Think your dream was just stress? Is that what stress dreams are like? Then I've had a heck of a lot of stress dreams. But my stress dreams are weird. Weird. Why would you do that? So much extra paperwork. Ew, why was there a lawyer involved in all of this? Why was there so much paperwork involved in my dream? It's a very bureaucratic dream, too. We were in court multiple times. We did the whole legal procession and everything. If you still have goals in your life, you should be talking more about it. I had that dream where I gave up to be an astronaut. Yeah, it was like that. I had like, I don't know. Well, I didn't give up on anything in that dream, though. I just somehow kept being told by people that I was not going to live. Everybody around me kept telling me that I was going to die. And maybe that is a metaphor for like people around me telling me I'm not going to succeed, or more like my own inner demons telling me this is how I would analyze my own dream. Maybe it's my own internal thoughts telling me that I'm not going to, I wouldn't say live, but I'm not going to succeed in life. And then me at the very end making that executive decision to not follow into those, into the norm, into what everybody's saying, to get the vaccine, just get the vaccine and get it over with. But I tell myself, I'm going to continue living my life the way I want it, whether or not I become successful in it or not. Essentially meaning whether or not I live means whether or not I'm successful. So like life is a metaphor for my dreams. If you can think about it like that, I don't know. Maybe it's like that. My dreams, guys, can become the coolest anime plots in the entire world. I keep telling myself that. I'm like, I could be so rich right now with the amount of content in my dreams. If only I could remember them, because they are so bizarre and actually kind of freaking cool. Sometimes I wake up from a dream And I'm like, damn, that would be a great anime. Or damn, that'd make a really good movie or a great manga. But then I'd go back to sleep because I want to continue that dream. And that's why I sleep for so long. This is the reason why I've been sleeping for so long lately, is because my dreams have just been so intriguing and so captivating that I just can't wake up. I don't want to wake up. I want to know what happens next. I want to know what my stupid owl brain will fire next. What all those stupid owl neurons are doing, firing all these random connections in my brain. I want to know what happens next within those connections, you know? Your subconsciousness is doubtful. I'm always doubtful, though. I suffer from like the worst imposter syndrome / like low self-esteem ever. So maybe that's why. Your dreams tend to end with you being harassed by a bee. A bee. I hate that. I would wake up immediately and just be like, no, I'm not going back to sleep. I don't want a bee in my dream. I know, right? I keep telling myself, that was such a friggin' amazing dream. And then I wake up and I'm like, damn it, now I forgot everything. Damn it. I should really get a dream journal. But I sleep too much. And then sometimes I sleep past the dream and then I don't remember what that last dream was. I have like multiple dreams a night sometimes. I remember telling you guys about some of my old dreams too. Some bizarre ones. Getting chased is the worst possible dream. Do you guys ever have stress dreams like that too? Do you guys ever dream about like falling or, I don't know, getting eaten by a shark or something? I have yet to have my shark dream. I kind of want to have a shark dream because I really like shark movies and I really like watching the people be scared of the sharkies, and then when the sharkies eat them. I want to have a shark dream. But I would survive. I wouldn't be the ones eaten. And I think in my shark dream, I would do everything I can to survive, even if both my legs were eaten. Even if both my legs were chomped off, I would still survive. You have dreams where you're running. Oh, wow. Maybe you should be a marathon runner, Milky. This is your calling to go run a marathon. You had episodal dreams once, and it was the same vibes as Kino no Tabita. I love that. That would be such a fun dream. I love anime like those. I love anime where it's just about a person's journey, kind of like vtuberEN in a way. But Kino no Tabita is really, really, really great. You just meet a bunch of people and you have like different episodes in your life based on your different experiences in different cities and towns and villages, all the different people. You had a dream where someone stole your bike. You don't own a bike? Well, maybe that's your mind telling you need to own a bike soon, Exile. A recurring one for some reason is going back to high school. Interesting. You got chased by your boss. Oh, no minigames. Maybe it's time for you to leave your job. Or maybe your boss has a crush on you. I don't know. Maybe you think your boss has a crush on you. I just had a dream about a plane crashing on a house once. It turns out the noise was just the wind. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that would do it. Seth also got chased by zombies from 28 days later. I love zombie dreams. I've had plenty of zombie dreams, and they actually are more of my fun ones. I always have a lot of fun zombie apocalypse dreams. You once dreamt about a whole building crashing and burning on top of me? Oh no. That is not a fun dream at all, Jack. I'm so sorry. Hi, Danu Martinez. We're just talking about dreams. Yeah. You had a dream that you'd forgotten to return some items you checked out from the library. It's those dreams that scare you the most. It's those dreams that make you wake up in a puddle of cold sweat and you're like, oh, did I forget to return my book to the library? And then you realize the library doesn't exist, or you realize that the library closed down like 10 years ago. It's like waking up from a dream and like realizing, oh my God, did I return that thing to Blockbuster? And you realize Blockbuster doesn't exist anymore. Zombies have humor? Yeah? They are so funny. No, the dreams are fun because I am so badass. I imagine myself as like one of those girls in like High School of the Dead with like massive titties. And I'm just like, yeah. And then I'm like holding a giant ass machine gun. And I'm like shooting the zombies with my like tiny miniskirt. And I'm just like being really cool, but I'm also being like really sexy. Hell yeah. Right? Aren't those so fun? Oh, those are my favorite dreams. Self-inserting myself in High School of the Dead. That's it. You wake up thinking you miss a class. Oh, that's pretty bad too. I've done that though. I've woken up and I missed my final math exam and I remember freaking out. You prefer the zombie from Sangareya? She's cute. I like Sangareya. She's cute. She's cute. It might be an unrelated business that covered the name or something. Anyways, let's get to studying. I digress. Let's study. Let's not procrastinate anymore. All right, let me get my webcam up. Hello. I found a highlighter. It is the closest thing I could find to a highlighter. Unfortunately, it is not. It is just a freaking Crayola marker, but it's the same thing. It does the same thing. The yappa yappa session is over. It's okay. We continue to do more yappa yappas. Do you guys think I need to go see a therapist again because these dreams are just getting out of hand? Sometimes I think to myself, do I need to go see a therapist? I don't have time. I probably should because it's very affordable for me. I don't have to pay that much to go see a therapist. If anything, I don't really have to pay much at all. I think my copay to go see a therapist is like $10. It's just so annoying because you have to go search for one, and then what if you don't like that therapist? Like, what if you don't vibe with that one? And then it's like a whole thing because you have to make these appointments, and then you have to take your time to explain your whole story again and again and again. Anyways, I didn't really like my old therapist. I feel like she didn't really understand what I was going through, although she did make a very, very valid point when I was talking to her last year or 2 years ago. I can't remember when I last saw one, but she was like, you are telling yourself that you're not working 2 full-time jobs at the moment, but you really are. And I was thinking to myself, damn, you're right. You're right. I keep telling myself that I can do this, but I am suffering. I am suffering. Can you be my therapist? Not officially, no, I can't. But you can treat our little sessions like this as a form of therapy. I cannot be your therapist like one-on-one, but our time together can be therapeutic. Okay? Oh, guys wondering what the dream I had was? Well, you missed the whole spiel. It was like I talked for like a straight up 20-minute. It was like a straight up 20-minute monologue on what my dream was about. But yes, basically, I touched some things that gave me terminal disease twice. The first time I got the vaccine for it. The second time I was like, whatever. If I die, I die. And that was it. That was my dream. Yeah. Anyways, you're looking for an ADHD doctor at the moment? It's so hard to find someone that really understands you. So I wish everyone luck on their journey in trying to find someone who really understands who they are. Because it might be a very long and arduous journey. Like, why does it have to be finding someone who helps you, like, more difficult than it should? I feel like you're going to get anxiety from trying to find somebody who's supposed to help with your anxiety. You know what I mean? Your anxiety is just going to get worse thinking about trying to find a therapist who's supposed to help with that. Anyways, let's get to this studying. So we are currently at the gastrointestinal diseases, and I was reading through this last night. Look at this cute little picture. It is a picture of an intestine that is folded into itself. It's called intussusception. Look at how many S's are in there. Well, actually only 3, but reminds me of Mississippi. But it's called intussusception, and it's basically when your large intestine folds within itself. Like that. Oh yeah, it's pretty bad. If you don't get it treated, it could cut off blood circulation in your colon, and then it could go necrotic and you could die, or you could lose part of your bowel. But it's easily reversible. Either you just use air pressure, like you can just put like an air enema or a barium enema in there, and then basically the enema, like the pressure of it will push it back into place, or you have to go in surgically. So now when we're talking about hernias and hydroceles, how does it happen? It says it's unclear, but it's likely multifactorial. It's called, so the process of this, the bowel going into itself is called invagination. Invagination typically begins with the hyperperistalsis in an intestinal segment. So one part of your colon is like hyperactive, I guess, because you know what peristalsis is, right? It's the wave-like movement that your bowel makes to help digest and move your food. I guess it's like overactive, so it, instead of like pushing your food, it like sucks up your colon instead. That's weird. Intestinal polyps and other things, like it might, oh no, wait. Yeah, the peristalsis continues to pull the invaginated segment along the bowel. Intestinal edema and obstruction occur, and blood supply to the area is cut off. Yeah, so basically, like, if this is your bowel, it does this, but I guess because it's like, if it's in the segment where your colon goes like this, where there's a 90-degree segment. So because it's like hyperactive, it kind of like, it kind of goes like that. It like sucks up part of your colon. That's cool. Oh yeah, we're gonna do Pomodoro. And then let me open my window a little, just because it's so hot in here. Okay. All right, I have Pomodoro and I have my moral support. It goes origami on itself. Yeah. Like the Ouroboros, yeah. But not really, like reverse, instead of going in a circle. So it gets its own ADHD moment and moves too much for its own good? Maybe. Not everything has to be because of ADHD. I feel like a lot of people now are kind of like I don't want to say overestimating, but overanalyzing and they think a lot of things that they blame a lot of their things and problems in life to ADHD, when it's like it's very much blurred nowadays. Because people are like, oh, I like my procrastination. I procrastinate a lot. Maybe I have ADHD. Like, sure, like if it's getting to the point that you can't function in life, then yeah, you probably have ADHD, but doesn't mean you do. If you can have symptoms of ADHD, but still function properly in life. But if it gets to the point where you can't function properly, then that's when you really need to go see a specialist and maybe get prescribed medication. And I know because I've done my own research, guys, I don't need to be medicated for ADHD, even though I feel like I have lots of symptoms of it too. But I'm still functioning in life. It's not debilitating yet. Yet is what I say. It hasn't debilitated me yet. Nope. I'm a functioning adult for now. In some parts of my life. In some parts of my life. You seem fine, Athy. I don't feel like you got it, though I could be wrong. No, I don't think I got it. Because a lot of the times, if you do have it, like, it would be diagnosed in, like, your childhood. And I think, like, a lot of teachers and I think maybe your parents or other people might pick up on it. So I definitely had, like, classmates who had it. And they had to go into, like, a special class because they couldn't focus so well in class, that they had to be pulled aside every once in a while and do just like one-on-one teaching. Yeah. Yeah, so for my classmates who had like formal ADHD diagnoses, we had I had classmates who had like dyslexia and ADHD. Every few classes or so, back when I was in elementary school, they would pull a small group of them aside. I think there were like 3 or 4 of them in my class, and they would work together with the teacher's assistant, and it would just be them in like a small room. Meanwhile, the rest of the class would just like continue doing the regular things. So yeah, they had like extra help is what I like to say. Yeah. Soft swelling or protrusion from the umbilicus, reducible with the finger. Inguinal hernia, painless swelling in the inguinal area. Swelling reducible. Ungenerated. So visible when the infant is crying. Incarcerated hernia, irritability, tenderness, abdominal dissection. A painless swelling in the scrotum that does not change in size or shape with the infant's activities. It is easily trans-eliminated. Inguinal swelling that may vary in size The positioning is not reducible. Interesting. I'm already so tired. Get yourself together. Don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep just yet. Oh my goodness. I need to top up on my tea. I'm drinking my Trader Joe's winter wake up tea. It's supposed to help wake me up. It's not. You lied to me? Tea? I'm gonna return it. This tea is supposed to wake me up. Why? Good night, Kay. Have a lovely sleepy. Good night, Thee. To everyone who's getting to bed, good night, Thee. Thank you for being here and for hanging out with me. Thanks for being study buddies. Okay, next we have this thing called encopresis. Encopresis is described in the DSM-5 as an elimination disorder with two subtypes, with or without constipation. It can also be primary, whereby children never attain bowel control, or secondary for children who have been continent of stool for several months. Oh. So encopresis is just not being able to get bowel control. Apparently, approximately 1 to 2% of children under the age of 10 years have encopresis. Boys are more affected than girls. In most cases, children have a history of painful bowel movements or constipation, and they develop encopresis as a result of chronic constipation and overflow incontinence. Withheld stool leads to colonic distension, which gradually stretches nerve fibers, causing the child to have less sensation for the urge to pass stool. Stools become larger, and when impacted, loose, watery stool leak around the impaction. The constipation that leads to encopresis may result from stress, and the leakage of stool and or soiling in inappropriate places can result in embarrassment and peer ridicule. Yeah, we have a lot of kids who are like severely constipated, and it's so bad. And this one time, okay, this is kind of gross if you guys are eating, so just a fair warning, I will be talking about the poopsies, but we had like a terrible code brown happen in one of my rooms. I remember the mom called me into the room, and it wasn't even my patient, it was like my coworkers who was on break at the time, and she told me that her son, because he was being admitted for severe constipation, so we were giving him this. But have you guys ever had to go in for a colonoscopy? You have to clear your bowels out, so they give you something called Go Lightly, which is like this clear solution that is supposed to be like a really, really strong laxative, and you drink it and you literally shit everything that you have inside your body out. So that's what we gave to the kid, except because the kid wasn't eating or drinking, we had to stick a nasogastric tube down his nose and just feed it through him slowly. So we had like a continuous go lightly solution infusing into the nasogastric tube. And then eventually it got to the point where there was enough in his system to make him literally, go everywhere. So I like entered the room and all I could see was just brown. That's all I could see, like brown everywhere, on the bed, on the floor. It was just like brown smush everywhere. Like it was not even like formed, it was just wet. It's like brown liquid everywhere. And I remember calling in my coworker. I was like, we have a code brown. I didn't say code brown, but we're like, I need your assistance in here. So yeah. And he had no way of controlling it. So we were expecting it at some point. We just weren't expecting it everywhere. Yeah. We've had our fair shares of code browns. So as mom got him into the shower, me and my coworker just like, geared up. We geared up, started the decontamination process. Yeah. Was it like the blood incident, but with poop? Not really, because with the blood incident, it exploded all over her. But in this case, it was more like, it didn't explode. It was just like there was a constant stream of it everywhere, like puddled. Also, because we didn't get to witness where it was. It didn't get on the walls. It was just on the bed and on the floor. Because it was so liquid, it literally like, he went on the bed, but then because it was so much, it like covered the whole bed, but then some of it fell onto the floor. And as mom was trying to get him into the bathroom, I guess he just kept going and going and going and going. And yeah, that's why it got on the floor, because she tried to get him to the bathroom while he was still going. Oh my god, I love this. Some children pass extremely large bowel movements. And I have like a super embarrassing story about that. It's not about me, but it's about my sister. She used to, when she was really young, like maybe like 4 or 5, she used to have huge BMs when she was a kid, to the point that our toilet, I swear to God, was clogged. And I remember this would happen like every so often, like every month or so. And every month or so, my uncle, like, because at that time we were like staying at our uncle's place. My uncle literally had to go in there with a plunger and declog the bathroom every time she used it, and she was only like 4. And this is all because, and it makes sense, because children tend to hold in their stool. And that is what is called encopresis. What is it called? Encopresis? And encopresis, right? Hey, we all had our little embarrassing things when we were kids. She honestly doesn't even remember it. We were, like 4 or 5 years old at that time? I only remember it because our parents would always tell us about it when we were older. No, it's because I actually mentally remember it. When I think I'm 3 years older than my sister, so I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I still remember back then. My uncle with the plunger, like, oh no, your sister clogged up the toilet again. Oh man, it was funny. Sister T. children may be too busy. So listen to this is crazy. Some children cannot differentiate the urge to defecate from the urge to pass gas. Some children cannot differentiate the urge to defecate from the urge to pass gas. Soiling usually only exists in the daytime. Some children pass extremely large bowel movements. The child may be too busy to defecate. Child may hide soiled underwear and or frequently plug toilet with That's literally my sister right there. Child may hide soiled underwear and or frequently plug toilet with stools. So it was like a completely normal thing that was going through my sister right now. Okay, so I'm not going crazy, right? Okay. Yes, it was literally my sister. They also don't like to pee, so they get frequent bladder infections. There are socio-behavioral problems, including stool smearing in cognitively intact children and signs of being the target of teasing and bullying. Yeah, no, that's definitely happened. Not in my family though. From hearing some of my friends and babysitting, yeah, I've had my fair share. If you guys have ever taken care of kids, I'm sure you've come across some very poopy situations. Yeah. Only children? Or maybe like adults who are not cognitively there. Maybe some older adults, like geriatric patients. If you watch some of those Nurse John TikToks, he always talks about like your old geriatric patients with dementia and they're like sundowning. And when they're sundowning, like the craziest things can happen. Yeah. I remember my parents tried to address the situation with my sister, and they started, they obviously let our pediatrician know. And I think our pediatrician knew that it was normal for kids her age. So just kept telling my parents to increase the amount of fiber in her diet. But my sister is an extremely picky child. Like she did not eat anything when she was a kid. So that was very difficult because she would barely even eat her vegetables. So trying to increase fiber in her diet was rough. And I think at one point, they did have to give her some sort of like stool softener. Can't remember. Yeah. Anyways, let's do these study questions. So while assessing a neonate with cleft lip, the nurse would be alert that which of the following will most likely be compromised. Sucking ability. Let me grab a pen. 1, sucking ability. 2, respiratory status. 3, locomotion, or 4, GI function. Sucking ability. When providing immediate post-operative care for the child with a cleft palate, the nurse should position the child in which of the following positions? In the supine position, in the prone position, in an infant seat, or on his side. I learned this earlier. With a cleft palate, you should actually place the child in a prone position, which means on their belly, because it helps with post-operative drainage. While assessing a child with pyloric stenosis, the nurse is likely to note which of the following? Regurgitation, steatorrhea, projectile vomiting, or current jelly stools. Projectile vomiting. is what happens during pyloric stenosis. I remember that. Which of the following nursing diagnoses would be inappropriate for the infant with gastroesophageal reflux? Deficient fluid volume, risk for aspiration, imbalanced nutrition, less than body requirements, or impaired oral mucous membrane. Four? Impaired oral mucous membrane? I don't think it's like an impaired oral mucous membrane. It's more like impaired stomach mucous membrane. Kids can have reflux? Magaloon, are you kidding me? That's like the #1 thing that babies have. Literally like 25% of babies in the world have GERD. Well, so the book doesn't like to add the D at the end of GERD because it's not essential. It's not really a disease. So they just like to call it GER or GER, not GERD. Just because they don't like to coin it as a disease, because when you tell parents, oh, your kid has a disease like GERD, that causes like overdiagnosis. It causes like over testing and maybe like over medicating a kid that doesn't really need all of that stuff, because like gastroesophageal reflux is completely normal in babies. It's very, very common finding. A lot of kids who come in, like I said, a lot of kids who come into the hospital, to the emergency room, because parents think that they stopped breathing or are choking or like changing colors and things like that, are mostly because they have reflux. And so many babies have reflux because their abdomen is not really fully formed yet. Their stomach sphincter is not fully developed. So that's why babies spit up a lot. And some babies more than others. And there are ways to like help combat that. You can add rice cereal to your milk to make it thicker. Or you can have a special type of formula that has added rice to it. Like there's Enfamil AR is a specific type of formula that is thick. And it's supposed to help prevent spit ups in babies with the GER. And then whenever a baby comes in and the parent is like, they stopped breathing, they turned blue, but they're fine now. So then we have to admit the baby for 24 hours for the BRUI, the brief resolved unexplained event. And then we always send them home and they're fine. And we tell parents, your baby just has a really bad case of reflux or car sickness. Yeah. Oh, you have GERD too? You're a baby too? Yeah, you're babu. You all babus. People who have GERD are like babies. They just spit up all the time. Well, I guess people with GERD don't spit up because you're older and you have a longer esophageal tract. But I know I don't personally have GERD, but I have had the feeling of like severe acid reflux before. And Mama Athi has really bad GERD. So just seeing her in pain all the time was like really sad to watch. And so I know how debilitating GERD is, especially if you have it chronically. It's just like constant burping, constantly waking up in the evening with really bad acid reflux. You're not able to eat some of your favorite foods. It's not great. Which of the following parameters would the nurse monitor to evaluate the effectiveness of thickened feedings for an infant with gastroesophageal reflux? Weight. Discharge teaching for a child with celiac disease would include instructions about avoiding which of the following? Celiac disease, that's easy. Rice, corn, wheat, or quinoa? Obviously wheat. Which of the following would the nurse expect to assess in a child with celiac disease having a celiac crisis secondary to an upper respiratory tract infection? 1. Respiratory distress. 2. Lethargy. 3. Watery diarrhea. Or 4. Weight gain. Watery diarrhea. What should the nurse do first after noting that a child with Hirschsprung's disease has a fever and watery explosive diarrhea? Notify the healthcare provider immediately. 2. Administer an antidiarrheal. Definitely not. 3. Monitor the child every 30 minutes. 4. Nothing. This is characteristic of Hirschsprung's disease. This is not characteristic of Hirschsprung's disease. Hirschsprung's disease is when one part of their colon or one part of their bowel is like paralyzed. And they have to they essentially have to cut off that portion of their bowel because it doesn't work anymore. So notify the healthcare provider immediately is what I would put, I guess. A neonate's failure to pass meconium within the first 24 hours after birth may indicate which of the following: Hirschsprung's disease. When assessing a child for possible intussusception, which of the following would be least likely to provide valuable information? Stool inspection, because it doesn't... Oh, wait. No, stool inspection, pain pattern, family history, or abdominal palpation. I guess abdominal palpation. Which best describes a defect that results from residual peritoneal fluid trapped within the lower segment of the processus vaginalis? Hydrocele, but... Is it non-communicating or is it communicating hydrocele? Ah, crap. Okay, the one in the scrotum, I think, is non-communicating. Is it communicating? Okay, I'm just gonna circle communicating. I don't know! Identify the aganglionic portion of the bowel. Identify the aganglionic portion of the bowel, which is the part of the bowel that where the intussusception happens. Is it? Oh, fudge. There's a picture of it. It was definitely like these part, one of these. Is it this part? I'm just gonna circle this part. When assessing a child with encoparesis, the interview is most likely to reveal a history of psychological disorder, a sexual abuse, recurrent diarrhea, or painful bowel movements. I mean, all. But mostly number 4, I guess. Painful bowel movements. Okay, let's see. All right. First question is correct. Number 2 is correct. Children with cleft palate should be placed on their abdomens to facilitate drainage. If the child is placed in supine position, aspiration is a concern. Using an infancy does not facilitate. Number 3 is 3. It's correct. Projectile vomiting is a key sign of pyloric stenosis. Regurgitation is seen more commonly with gastroesophageal reflux. Diarrhea occurs in malabsorption disorders such as celiac disease. Current jelly stools are characteristic of intussusception. 4 is correct. GER is the backflow of gastric contents into the esophagus, resulting from relaxation or incompetence of the lower esophageal sphincter. No alteration in the oral mucosal membranes occurs with this disorder. Fluid volume deficit, risk for aspiration, and imbalanced nutrition are appropriate nursing diagnoses. 5 is the answer is actually 1. So I got this wrong. It's actually 1. Makes sense. See, we have to look for vomiting, not just wait, it's vomiting. Thickened feedings are used with GERD to stop the vomiting. Therefore, the nurse would monitor the child's vomiting to evaluate the effectiveness of using the thickened feedings. No relationship exists between feedings and characteristics of stool and urine. If feedings are ineffective, this should be noted before there is any change in the child's weight. 6 is 3. That is correct. Obviously, wheat. Children with celiac disease cannot tolerate or digest gluten. Therefore, because of its gluten content, wheat and wheat-containing products must be avoided. Number 7, the answer is 3. Oh, I was correct. Episodes of celiac crises are precipitated by infections, ingestion of gluten, prolonged fasting, or exposure to anticholinergic. Celiac crisis is typically characterized by several severe watery diarrhea. Respiratory distress is unlikely, blah, blah, blah. Irritability more than lethargy is likely because of the fluid loss. Child's weight to be decreased. Okay. Eight is 1. I was correct. Oh, yay. I was correct about that one. The child with Hirschsprung's disease, fever, and explosive diarrhea indicate enterocolitis, a life-threatening situation. Therefore, the healthcare provider should be notified immediately. Generally, because of the intestinal obstruction and inadequate propulsive intestinal movement, antidiarrheals are not used to treat Hirschsprung's disease. The child is acutely ill and requires intervention, with monitoring more frequently than 30 minutes. Hirschsprung disease typically presents with chronic constipation. Oh my god, I was wrong with the bowel thing. So 9 is also 1. That one's easy. 10. I guess family history. Because intussusception is not believed to have a familial tendency, obtaining a family history would provide the least amount of information. Stool inspection, pain pattern, and abdominal palpation would reveal possible indicators of intussusception. Current jelly stools containing blood and mucus are an indication of intussusception. Acute episodic abdominal pain is characteristic of intussusception. A sausage-shaped mass may also be palpated in the right upper quadrant. 11 is 1. I literally got the wrong hydrocele. It is the non-communicating hydrocele. With a non-communicating hydrocele, most commonly seen at birth, residual peritoneal fluid is trapped within the lower segment of the processus vaginalis. There is no communication with the peritoneal cavity, and the fluid usually is absorbed during the first few months of birth. A communicating hydrocele usually is associated with an inguinal hernia because the processus vaginalis remains open from the scrotum to the abdominal cavity. An inguinal hernia arises from the incomplete closure of the processus vaginalis, leading to the descent of an intestinal portion. Incarceration occurs when the hernia becomes tightly caught in the hernia sac. Intussusception. Intussusception is when your bowel folds into itself. And apparently the aganglionic portion of the bowel is down here. Is this part. The bowel distends proximally to the aganglionic portion of the bowel. The distension is due to the accumulation of intestinal contents, which stalls because the affected portion has lack of innervation, leading to the absence of propulsive movements. Ooh. Mm. 13, the answer is 4. I was correct, yay. In most cases of encoparesis, children have a history of painful bowel movements or constipation, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Perfect. We did gastrointestinal dysfunction. Moving on. Next, we are moving on to the genitourinary dysfunction. Yay! And then after that, we have musculoskeletal disorders. And then we have the neurological system. And then we have neurological dysfunctions. And then we have endocrine. And then we have hematologic. And I think heme is the last one. Yeah, cancers. Yeah. Sweet. This is like a very heavy kind of, I'm studying up on like the really heavy parts. I started out kind of just reviewing the stuff that I already know with all like the respiratory and the psychosocial and the developmental stuff. But I have to really study and like consolidate my knowledge on this, on more of the systems, the bodily systems that I'm not familiar with. Gotta go eat. Bye, guy. Enjoy your food. Enjoy your meal. Hydrate time. I got it. Yeah, I really have to double down on these bodily systems, on these body functions and these body systems that I don't know. Like cardiac systems we already did, respiratory system we already did, infectious diseases we did. So respiratory was a big one, cardiac was a big one. We just did GI, which is a big one too. So now we're moving on to GU, which is genitourinary. So let's start. Let's skim. We have about 5 minutes left on our Pomodoro timer. So the GU system is composed of the kidneys, the ureters. Hold up, let me turn this down a little. Composed of kidneys, ureters, bladders, and the urethra. Oh, and this is where we were talking about the hypospadias. You guys remember when I was talking about when your pee-pee hole is in the wrong place? We're gonna get to that. Oh, easy, just pee. Yeah, it's about pee-pee. We're gonna be talking about the kidneys. The kidney's functional unit, the nephron, is composed of the glomeruli. We're going back to like basic biology class now, guys. The glomeruli, which filter water and solutes from the blood. The tubules, which reabsorb needed substances. e.g. water, protein, electrolytes, glucose, and amino acids, from filtrate, and allow unneeded substances to leave the body in urine. So the glomeruli and the tubules, two important parts of the nephron. The kidney functions include regulating acid excretion by renal excretion of acid that is bound to chemical buffers. Also, hi Leia, how are you? Your favorite word, glomerulus? Glomeruli. Glomeruli. Should be. I love that word too. I had like another word that I really liked, like one medical word. Oh, this is my favorite medical word, or medical body part. Just the sound of it is really, really fantastic. I love the body part, medulla oblongata. It just sounds like a Harry Potter spell. So if somebody asks me, what's your favorite body part? I will tell them the medulla oblongata. You're a little hungry. Go get yourself a little snack. Go get yourself a little snack. Let me turn off my fan. I'm getting a little cold. The hypothalamus, your favorite animal. The hypothalamus. We also came across the word intussusception today. It sounds like inception, but it's intussusception. You ate a banana already? Oh, I want to go eat a banana too. I'll do that later. I have some like breads and things I can eat. You have no idea what that word is? Intussusception is when your bowel folds into itself. It is a kind of crazy thing to happen, to be fair. So let me finish reading this before my Pomodoro timer goes off. Okay, so it excretes acids and it's bound to chemical buffers. So the acid, the hydrogen plus, is excreted. The hydrogen plus is just hydrogen. Is excreted by the renal tubular cells into the filtrate. Fluid filtered through the walls of the glomerular capillary tufts, where it is buffered mostly by phosphate ions and ammonia, regulating electrolyte excretion. Sodium. The most sodium chloride is reabsorbed by the kidneys. Water from filtrate allows the reabsorbed sodium to maintain osmotic balance. The remaining water and electrolytes are excreted in the urine. The regulation of sodium excretion depends on aldosterone, a hormone released by the adrenal cortex. If the blood aldosterone level is increased, less sodium is excreted because aldosterone fosters sodium reabsorption. Interesting. Potassium. Increased level of blood aldosterone increases potassium excretion. Potassium retention is the most life-threatening effect of renal failure. Yes. But also losing too much potassium is very life-threatening, so you don't want them to be peeing too much. You also regulate water excretion through osmolality. Osmolality reflects the number of particles dissolved in the urine, thus it is a relative degree of dilution and concentration. Antidiuretic hormone. In the tubule, the varying amount of water that is reabsorbed in relation to electrolyte reabsorption regulates water excretion and urine concentration. ADH, excreted by the posterior part of the pituitary. Posterior pituitary controls the amount of water that is reabsorbed. Perfect. Apparently in the kidney, it also helps produce hormones. So in the kidney, you have renin, which helps regulate blood pressure, erythropoietin, which stimulates red blood cell production in the bone marrow, and it metabolizes vitamin D to its active form, and it is important in calcium metabolism. Yeah, you need vitamin D for your bones, for the calcium. Urine is formed in the nephron and then passes into the renal pelvis through the ureter into the bladder and out of the body through the urethra. Perfect. Break time. Vitamin D! Yay! I have so many study materials for this exam. Like, I printed out these Quizlets, and I have these really nice flashcards that have all of the pediatric milestones on them, because I feel like this is something that I'm really just gonna have to remember word for word. It's not something that I can just use my critical thinking on. It's just something that you need to remember straight up. So flashcards are really great for that sort of thing, for helping remember straight up facts. Like these are just straight up facts that I need to remember. I know, it's hard to memorize because I have a feeling that they might give me some really tricky questions. There's always tricky questions like that in the exam. I remember when I was in nursing school, when we would have like a period of time where we would do like, what do you call it? Remediation for our exams. So we actually got the results to our exams after every test. So the exam itself was like an hour and a half long. So then our lectures were 3 hours long. So for an hour and a half, we would do the exam. And then for another hour and a half, we would do remediation. And with the remediation, we would go through every single question and we would go through the rationale for each question. And I remember a lot of the times people got some questions wrong. Like the majority of the class would get a certain question wrong, and then they would question the professors. Like, why did you word it that way? The grammar was really bad. It like implied another thing. And so all of the students answered, for example, if the answer was actually A, but the majority of us actually answered B, and then we all gave our reasoning, like, why did we all answer B? And the professor was like, oh, I guess that is a valid answer in that point. We'll just give you back that 1 point. So there were a lot of times during the test where professors would give us back points because we made our case about why we had a certain answer. And sometimes it would be multiple answers too, because they're just not that great at writing tests, to be fair. I just think that my professors were not that great at writing their tests. So yeah, they should actually get someone who knows what they're doing. Hold up a second here. Oh, fixing my exposure. Oh my god. Thank you, my pillow.
Surprisingly serious studious Sunday streams supports sudden success.
That is some perfect alliteration right there, Goldfire. Thank you so much for the super duper. Thank you. Are you enjoying our little surprisingly serious, studious Sunday stream supports sudden success? I mean, are you enjoying our surprisingly serious, studious Sunday stream? Yeah? I was hoping the text-to-speech would have gotten tongue-tied. No, I got a little tongue-tied when I was trying to say it, though. Thank you. Thank you for your generous super-duper channel. Really appreciate it. Now I'm going to go buy myself a... Oh my god, I didn't get to make my milkshake. I keep forgetting to make a milkshake, guys. I'm so pissed. I didn't get to make my milkshake last week. Fudge. Every time I think I'm going to go get a milkshake or go buy the supplies for a milkshake, I never do. Okay, for real, we are going to have a milkshake stream next week. Okay, it's gonna be this, guys. We're gonna plan our stream for next week. It's gonna be a milkshake stream, milkshake stream, and then I'm gonna do crafts. Milkshakes and crafts. Do it. After you go to the grocery store, go buy your milkshake supplies and go make your milkshake. You got this, girl. All you need is some ice cream, some strawberry ice cream, some strawberries, some milk, ice, and you're good. You're good. But today is Monday. It's well, I guess for Pacific timers, they're still in the Sunday time. It just hit 12 midnight for me, so it is technically Monday. But if you live in Central or if you live in Pacific time, it is still Sunday. It is still Sunday for a lot of people, Bintang. Yeah, for most of us, it is a Monday now, though. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you have a lovely day. I mean, it was still Sunday when the studying started, so it still counts. I guess. But were we really studying? All right. I'm thinking of what snack I should have later. I'm not that hungry, to be fair. I ate quite a big meal before I went to sleep. I had this frozen pizza that I got from like the Asian grocery store. It's this Korean style pizza that had corn and sweet potatoes on top of it. So I think corn and sweet potatoes are two of the most popular ingredients in Korea, especially for like desserts and snacks. So it was just a very typical cheese pizza. But you know how like in Korea, they love to add cheese to the corn, like cheesy corn is a big thing. And then also the Korean sweet potatoes are really, really popular as well. So the pizza itself was literally just cheese, some sweet corn, and then little chunks of sweet potato. So when I ate it, I was actually genuinely surprised on how sweet it was because it was sweet corn and sweet potato. And it was really yummy. But you know what made it even more delicious was adding kimchi to it. I thought to myself the entire time eating that pizza, I was like, this is very, very sweet. I feel like it needs something a little bit savory to help counteract it. And kimchi is like not too salty. It's like the perfect combination of like sweet and pickled cabbage. So adding the kimchi on top of that pizza was the perfect combination. And I had a feeling that whoever invented the pizza, whoever created the recipe for that pizza knew in their mind that people were probably going to eat that pizza with kimchi and that it would be the perfect combination to kimchi. So it was so good. Whoever cooked that pizza or created the recipe for that pizza knew what they were doing. They were encouraging people to eat more kimchi too. Maybe it was product placement for kimchi. It just was the perfect blend. Yeah. Sweet potato is popular as a pizza topping in Korea, right? And then adding kimchi on top of the pizza too. Mwah, chef's kiss. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Chef's kiss. So good, so yummy. Yeah, it was a little too sweet for my taste though. It kind of reminded me of like their version of like pineapple on pizza because it was that sweet. It was almost like that little tangy sweetness of the pineapple, but it was with sweet potato. It was a little more starchy. Yeah. Corn, potatoes, and bread, triple the carbo. Yeah, Bintang, I had all the carbo, which is probably why I woke up so groggy. And I think it was just carb overloaded from that pizza. Because, you know, after you have like a big carby meal, you kind of sleep for like 12 hours straight because of that huge sugar spike. That glucose spike in your blood just causes you to crash. For those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving, I'm sure you guys know that post-Thanksgiving meal food coma that you experience, and that was kind of what I was feeling when I went to bed. And maybe that did contribute a little bit to my strange dream, but it was a nice sleep at least. And I really want to go back to sleep. My bed is calling me. My bed is my best friend. My bed is my best friend. I spend more time in my bed than most people do. BRB grabbing food. Go enjoy your food and let me know what you get. Let me know what you get. I want to go to Korea so bad. I would be eating their corn dogs every day. I would eat a Korean corn dog every freaking day. I just love Korean food so much. I feel like I eat more Korean food than I do Japanese. Nom, nom, nom. Were you planning on this being another long study session like last time? No, because I want to go back to having a normal sleep schedule and I don't want to sleep past like 3 a.m. So I think I'm definitely going to end stream before 2 because I am not actually going to be in work for the next week and a half because I took this week and next week off to study for my exam. Actually, this week I have a study seminar, and it's going to be over 2 days, 8 hours a day. We're going to be doing this like intensive exam prep, and that actually counts as a shift for me because it counts for education hours, and there are a certain amount of education hours we can use a year, and it counts as like a shift worked. So this week I'm taking a personal day, so that counts as one shift. And then and then the 2 days that I have for my education days count as 2 shifts. So my 3 shifts for the week are done for this week. And then next week I have my exam. That also counts as an educational day. So I have that day off. And then I'm just working 2 shifts that week. So essentially for this whole next week, I am not working. I will be intensively studying for my pediatric nurse exam. And I think that this whole week, if I study every day, a little bit every day, I think I'll be okay for the exam because I've been studying pretty diligently already. I wouldn't say I've been studying every day, but I've been studying every opportunity I can at work. And then with you guys during this stream, it really, really, really helps studying during stream. Yeah. Good for you coming back to work after a break can make you more productive, right? Sufficient sleep is also an important part of studying, I'm told. For sure. So I want to get back to having like a day shift schedule because my exam prep course is going to be during the day. It's going to be from like 9 to 5, 9 to 4 or whatever. So I need to be fully alert and fully awake during that time, even though that is my peak sleepy hour. Yeah. When that date comes, best of luck on that exam. Thank you. Maybe I should wait for the exam. Maybe I should wait for after the exam to get my milkshake. Or maybe I'll just have a milkshake anyway next week and then have another milkshake the week after. After my exam. I want to treat myself to something. What should I treat myself to? Maybe I'll treat myself to like fast food. I haven't had fast food or since my birthday. Maybe I'll go to Shake Shack. I haven't been to Shake Shack in a long time, and I'll get a milkshake from Shake Shack. I really like Shake Shack shakes. Or actually Five Guys. I haven't had Five Guys shake in a really long time. Yeah, like Shake Shack or Five Guys. I want to get one of those. Treat yourself to blue curry now. No, not again. It's torturous. You know what I should do with that blue curry? I should make it into a milkshake. But a blue milkshake? Can you imagine? Strawberry milkshake plus Korean pizza? Caloric heaven? Yeah. But don't worry, I'll just burn it off in the gym the next day. I've been working hard at my gym reps, guys. I've been going to the gym frequently, going to my Pilates and my yoga twice a week. Speaking of which, it's been a while since you've got a Five Guys. Go! It's, well, only if, like, you think you can eat it and deserve to eat it, but go to Five Guys. It's not that cheap anymore, though, so I understand if you're trying to save money on eating out. Five Guys is not cheap. Also, if you're trying to be on a diet, I understand as well. So go treat yourself. I order you, Undead, to go eat your Five Guys this week. Or go eat Five Guys with me when I get it. Eating out has really gone up in price in general. Exactly, which is why I barely eat out at all. It's really hard because every shift, there's always someone who is going to order out, and they always do group orders. So they always come around every person, and they always ask, oh, do you want to get something? Do you want to order out? And you're so tempted to want to order out with them. They're like, we're getting sushi, we're getting Thai food. But I'm like, no, I have to be good because I'm on diet, but also I need to save money because it's a lot of money to order from Uber Eats. So I've been a good girl and I've been bringing my food every shift, although I don't really have the time to eat it most of the time. I do find whatever little time I have at the end of my shift when everything is finally settled to finally eat my food. Yeah, but I've been a good girl. I've been a good girl, so be proud of me. Be proud. I'm proud of myself. I haven't ordered from Uber Eats in over a month, and that's already a record for me. I haven't had boba in a really long time. Every day is a cheat day for you. Oh no! Oh no, you have to get a little more disciplined. Come on, let's start disciplining yourself. I'm gonna discipline you. Proud of me? Thank you. Okay, let's get back to studying. 45 minutes on the clock. Let's get to these. PP. The PP system. Let's get to this PP system. I'm gonna add more hot water to my tea. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I refilled my tea. Let's get to studying. Lock on! Lock on! Wait, what's that anime where they're like, lock on? Oh my god, it's Shugachara! Watashi no kokoro unlock. Oh, is it unlock? No, not lock on. I was like, watashi no kokoro lock on? No, it's unlock. Watashi no kokoro unlock. Na 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 na. Oh my god, do they have a sequel manga where like Amo and Ikuto are married and have children? That'd be crazy. I would read that. I would read that. I would also read the Kodomo no Omocha sequel. Although they did, in the end of Kodocha, they did show when they were older. So I really like manga where they start out in the beginning of the series as kids, and then the manga really heavily progresses throughout like their ages. So Kodocha is one of them actually, where it starts out with the main characters being in elementary school, and then there's like a section of the manga where they're in middle school and then they're in high school. I like those kind of manga. It's only a year or two after, not a huge skip low. So she's only in middle school then, damn it. That is bizarre. That a freaking high schooler is like praying after an elementary schooler. That's gross. I do love it when stories do that. The only one that I don't really approve of is Bunny Drop, Usagi Drop. Because it starts out really wholesome when she's a kid, but then when it gets to the adult arc, you're like, what did I get myself into? I remember for my birthday, I remember so vividly for my 16th birthday, one of my really good friends actually bought me Usagi Drop, like the first volume of Usagi Drop, because that was my favorite anime back then. One of my favorite anime / manga back then. But I didn't know what was gonna happen in the end. So I can't remember if my friend gave it to me ironically as a joke, because he was like, oh, ha, ha, enjoy reading this really silly book. But luckily it was just the first volume, so that was when things were still like okay. But I did read the whole manga, and you know how it ends. It's like very controversial how it ends. I mean, I'm not gonna hate on it. It's just the author's decision to do it. It was the author's decision to end the manga that way, so I'm not gonna hate on them like that. Obviously, it caused a lot of controversy. Yeah, the time skip doesn't exist. I know so many people that were into Usagi Drop that basically dropped it at that point. Yeah. And back in the day, my friends and I also really liked Oyasumi Pun Pun because we were all depressed. We were all these emo, nihilistic teenagers that were like, Oyasumi Pun Pun is so good. And it is still really good. It is a fantastic manga, honestly. But at one point we were obsessed with Oyasumi Pun Pun, and that's all we would talk about when we came to school every day. I was like, oh my god, did you read the next chapter of Oyasumi Pun Pun? Oh my god, it's so good. Oh my god, it was so sad. Oh my god, it made me cry. Oh my god, I feel like so depressed now after reading that. Yeah, we all read Oyasumi Pun Pun when we were in high school. Focus! Okay. I'm starting. Thank you for reminding me, Bintang. Not only is the content controversial, the writing quality kind of drops off too, or felt like it. Interesting. I guess so, you're right. It felt like it was very rushed. Speaking of anime, you were watching the anime Alia hides her feelings, but in Russian. I love it! It's not your cup of tea TV because you're not a fan of romantics, but it has a bit of a character trait not seen anywhere. What, are you talking about his sister or the main character? Because I love his sister. Good morning, my brother. Good morning, my brother. Yukisuo, best girl. Yes, I was gonna say that! Yukisuo, best girl! Woo! Don't focus on the pee-pee, you mean the poon-poon? The poon-poon. We have to focus on this pee-pee, not on that pee-pee. Okay, we're gonna focus on the pee-pee, let's go. Alright. Especially her yandere mood, oh my god. I feel like Yukisuo is literally me. She's every character trait ever. She can be, on 1 second, she's like very himedere, and the next second she's the little sister character. In the next second she's like a tsundere, then she'll be a yandere, and then she'll be like a punk. She's just like every character ever. Freaking love her. But she does it ironically too, which is my vibe, because I love doing everything ironically. Focus on the pee-pee. Focus on pee-pee. Okay. Yuki is so powerful that the author nerfed her into the SC sister. Okay, focus on pee-pee. Focus on pee-pee. Focus on pee-pee. I'm gonna focus on pee-pee, don't worry. No. Okay. We're focusing on pee-pee. Okay, stop talking about anime. Don't distract me, you guys. Stop being such a distraction for me. Gosh. I have to think about this pee-pee, not that one, okay? Don't distract me with your pee-pee words. Don't distract me by spamming the pee-pee in the chat. Don't distract me. I was gonna say, don't distract me with your pee-pee. That must be so freaking gross. Yeah, we're focusing on this pee-pee, not that pee-pee. Don't think about that pee-pee. No pee-pee. We are focusing on this. The pee-pee system. I'm studying. I'm focused. Lock on. Lock on. It's not Sugar Chara. What is that anime? What is that anime? Fudge. They're like lock on. Lock on. Lock on. What is it? Fudge. There's an anime where this character says like lock on. Damn it. I can't remember. Oh, I can't focus. Oh my god. Okay. We just have to get through this. I need to know. I need to know what it is. Guys, do you remember what anime it is where the character goes like lock on and then does something really badass? Oh, fudge. What is it? 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 Okay. Focus. 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 Where are my focus gummies? Where are my focus gummies? I don't have focus gummies. No. I need to know. Anime character that says oh my god, wait. Is it? Is it Himawari? Is it? Wait, I want to watch this real quick. Oh my god, is it the scene where she uses her Byakugan and she's like lock on? Yes! Yes! It was that scene! It was that scene! Oh my god, it was that scene. Yes, yes, you got it, you got it. That's what I was remembering! Yes! Yes! It's Himawari's lock on, that's what it was. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, okay, I can move on now with my life. Thank you, thank you. Whew. It was that scene when she goes like lock on and then she uses her Byakugan. Okay. Woo! It was thank you, Charles, MVP Charles. Yeah, thank you, Charles. You saved me, Charles. I can be in peace now. Thank you, Charles. Himawari, best character. I love her. She needs her own character arc, please. She's like 10 times more interesting than her own brother. Hello, welcome to stream. Welcome. Okay, we are finally getting to. I'm just gonna skip all of this. Prevention of UTIs. I love that. Is it true? It says here, prevention of UTI. Emphasize the importance of avoiding both before and after sexual intercourse. Part of me is like, I think that's a little bit true. That is something that I have educated my friends about. I was like, if you want to prevent the UTI, make sure you pee-pee before and after. I question. What about during? Stop it! Stop it! Ew! No! Gross! That's how you give the other person a UTI. That's how you give the other person a UTI. Or an infection anywhere else in their body. Literally everywhere. Anywhere. So infection of the urethra is called urethritis. Bladder, infection of bladder is called cystitis. The infection of the ureters is called ureteritis. And the infection of the kidneys is called pyelonephritis. Why can't they just call it the same thing? If the infection of the urethra is urethritis, why can't they call the infection of the bladder bladderitis? Why can't they just call the infection of the kidney kidneyitis? Or kidnitis, I don't even know. Of course they had to change the name to something completely different, like pyelonephritis or cystitis. Atheitis. Is that what an infection of athy would be called? Atheitis? Gotta be too, it's too easy, that's why. Probably because it's Latin. True. I guess kidney and bladder are not Latin names. About 40% of UTIs are asymptomatic. Can you believe that? 40%? Damn. How much is atheitis, though? What do you mean? Is there a price on there? Is there supposed to be a price on there? Is that real medical advice? I heard that when I was in the army, but didn't know it was real. I mean, that's what the book says, and I assume it is real medical advice because that's what the book says. And the person who wrote this book is a medical professional, so yeah. Google says bubo is one of the Latin words for owls. Maybe buboitis makes it sound like you're getting the bubonic plague. The bubonic plague is just an owl plague. That's why all of the plague doctors look like owls. Because the bubonic plague is an owl plague. That's why. Damn it. I knew they were gonna blame us owls on something. That's why we're being haunted. That's why we're being haunted. You have a burger? I want burger. I don't have burger. I want burger. I can have one? Give me burger! Yummy! Nom nom. You have two? No, you should eat both burgers. You must be very hungry. You deserve to have both burgers. Sometimes one burger is not enough. Sometimes I know I'm hungry enough to want to eat two burgers, so go eat your two burgers. Yeah. You are an expert on the bubonic plague, Werewolf? How much of an expert are you? How much of an expert are you, though? How much of an expert? Tell me some facts about the bubonic plague while I study. I would love to know some facts. Thank you very much. Hamburger. 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 Hamburguesa. 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 That's a funny word. Hamburguesa. 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 Hamburguesa? Hamburguesa. Hamburguesa? Hamburguesa. Hamburguesa! I like the way it sounds. I like saying it. I'm hamburguesa. Hamburguesa. I'm slowly going insane. I just like the way it sounds when I say it. Hamburguesa. Burguesa. Burguesa. Burgueso. Queso. Queso. Hamburguesa con queso. Con queso, con queso, con queso. Con queso, con queso. Yum. All of the queso, 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 queso. Quesito. What kind of burger did you get? Like, what type of burger? Regular cheeseburger? Did you get bacon on your burger? Where did you get it from? Where did you order your burger from? Did you make a burger? Croissant? 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 Croissant! Croissant! Croissant. Croissant. Croissant, 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 croissant. Mhm. 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 Neurogenic bladder, seizure disorder, obstructive sleep apnea, diabetes, acquired diabetes insipidus, and acquired irritable. Ureteral obstruction. Ureteral. Oh my god. Vesico-ureteral reflux. Ureteral reflux. Say that a million times. Vesico-ureteral reflux. Ureteral reflux. Vesico-ureteral reflux. Vesico-ureteral reflux. Vesico-ureteral reflux is characterized by the backward flow of urine in the urinary tract when voiding. Children usually present with either UTI or hydronephrosis. Most common radiographic abnormality associated with UTI. Morbidity can be considerable from both infection and reflux nephropathy sequelae. Children can have decreased growth, hypertension, and renal failure. Genetics may play a role. Primary reflux results from congenital abnormalities. Secondary reflux results from infection and ureterovesicular junction incompetency. Ureterovesicular. Oh my god. There's vesico-ureteral and there's ureterovesicular. Huh? Vesico-ureteral, ureterovesicular. I feel like those are just the same word swapped. It occurs when the urine flows from the bladder back into the ureters and the renal pelvis, usually a result of an incompetent valvular mechanism at the ureterovesicular junction, is graded according to the degree of reflux. I don't care about that. Reflux is a major cause of renal damage. Reflux to urine ascending into the collecting tubules of the nephrons gives microorganisms access to the renal parenchyma, initiating renal scarring. Ooh. Still have dysuria, urinary frequency, urgency, hesitancy, urinary retention, cloudy, dark, or blood-tinged urine. Symptoms may be non-specific. Lab findings, urinalysis will show blood or pyuria, renal and bladder ultrasound, and VCUG are the standard imaging for vesicular ureteral reflux. Minister and teach parents to administer prescribed medications such as a continuous low-dose antibiotic. In most cases, continuous low-dose antibiotic therapy is effective. There's an 80% chance of remission. Develop a regular avoiding plan, high-fiber diet. Ba, 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 ba. Sounds like an ancient ritual spell. Like medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata. Nephrotic syndrome is the manifestation of different glomerular diseases that result in loss of protein through the kidneys. So, it defines nephrotic syndrome as a urine protein to creatinine ratio 42,000 urine protein more than 300 dipstick urine protein plus 3 hypoalbuminemia, and edema. Minimal change nephrotic syndrome accounts for 80% of all cases in children ages 2 to 6 and is more common in boys than girls. Minimal change nephrotic syndrome is idiopathic in origin, non-specific illness, typically a viral upper respiratory tract infection, commonly precedes clinical manifestation, where this is considered a precipitating factor rather than a cause. Secondary nephrotic syndrome occurs after damage of known or presumed cause, like lupus, diabetes, sickle cell. After glomerular damage. Congenital nephrotic syndrome phenotype is caused by an autosomal recessive gene. The rare disorder does not respond to usual therapy, and the infant usually dies in the first or second year of life. What? And the infant dies in the first or second year of life. That's sad. Pathogenesis and minimal change in nephrotic syndrome is not clear, but there's increased permeability of protein, eating 2 grams a day. Protein leaks through the glomerular membrane, resulting in protein, especially albumin, in the urine. Once the albumin is lost, colloidal osmotic pressure decreases. Osmotic pressure decreases, permitting fluid to escape from the intravascular spaces to the interstitial spaces. Fluid escapes from the intravascular spaces to the interstitial spaces. The volume decrease stimulates the antidiuretic hormone to reabsorb water. Vertibial edema, anasarca, terrorized edema. for increased edema, measuring abdominal girth, weight, intake and output, and blood pressure and pulse rate. Okay. Steroid is prescribed. Loop diuretic, combination with metolazone, edema. Acute glomerulonephritis. Acute glomerulonephritis. 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 Acute post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis. Acute post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis is the most common form. Post-infection acute glomerulonephritis. Immune injury. Was once thought to be secondary to streptococcus. Now other organisms are involved, including pneumococci and viruses. Most streptococcal infections do not cause acute glomerulonephritis. When they do, a latent period of 10 to 14 days occurs, usually of the skin and upper respiratory tract. Antibodies interact with the antigens that remain in the glomeruli, leading to immune complex formation and tissue injury. Filtration decreases and excretion of less sodium and water, high blood pressure, edema, and heart failure may result. Major complication is hypertensive encephalopathy, acute cardiac decompensation, and acute renal failure. History of infection for 10 to 14 days before the onset of symptoms. Oliguria and hematuria. Urine is brown, cola or tea colored, and cloudy. Post-vertebral tenderness. Antistreptolysin. Whoa. Did you hear my back crack? Yeah. I just cracked my back a bunch of times. It went crack, 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 crack. It went crack, 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 crack. It was so loud. Increase caloric intake to decrease protein breakdown unless restricted. Impose sodium, potassium, or fluid restrictions. Dietary restrictions. Regular diet is allowed, but sodium is limited. Discuss the possible need for peritoneal dialysis or hemodialysis if renal failure occurs. thought it was my fingers? No, it was my back. I went crack, 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 crack. Ugh. Okay, hypospadias. Now this is the condition that I was talking about before. Hypospadias is a condition in which the urethral opening is located below the glans penis or anywhere along the ventral surface, underside of the penile shaft. The ventral foreskin is lacking, and the distal portion gives an appearance of a hood. In very mild cases, the meatus is just below the tip. In most severe cases, the meatus is located on the perineum between the halves of the scrotum. It occurs in about 1 in 250 male neonates and the most common anomaly of the penis. Concurrent abnormalities include cryptorchidism, undescended testes, chordy? What the frick is chordy? Ventral surface of the penis that results from the replacement of normal skin with fibrotic band, which usually accompanies more severe forms of hypospadias or inguinal hernias. Genetic transmission is weakly correlated, but it could be caused by prenatal exposure to cocaine, alcohol, phenytoin, progestins, rubella, or gestational diabetes. Failure of the urethral folds to fuse completely over the urethral groove can lead to infertility and psychological problems. Improve the child's ability to stand to improve the appearance and to preserve sexual adequacy. Performed between ages of 6 and 12 months with 1 or 2 stage repairs. Prepare them for urinary diversion. Yep. Okay. That was a quick chapter. Okay, question time. When performing a procedure related to a GU problem, the nurse would anticipate that which of the following age groups would find it especially stressful? When performing a procedure related to a GU problem, the nurse would anticipate that which of the following age groups would find it especially stressful? Is there a specific age group that finds procedures with GU problems? I guess school-age children, right? Like infants, toddlers, preschoolers, or school-age children. I'm assuming school-age children because they're more aware. When developing a teaching plan to prevent urinary tract infection, which of the following should be included? Select all that apply. Wearing underwear made of synthetic materials such as nylon? Nope. It should be cotton, not nylon. Maintaining adequate fluid intake? Definitely. Keeping urine alkaline by avoiding acidic beverages? You should be keeping your urine acidic by drinking more acidic beverages. Avoiding urination before and after intercourse? No, you need to urinate before and after intercourse. Duh. Avoiding bubble baths and tight clothing? Yep. Emptying bladder with each urination? Yes. Which of the following organisms is the most common cause of UTIs in children? E. coli. I know that. Which of the following would the nurse expect when assessing a child with cystitis? Flank pain. High fever, flank pain, cystitis. Cystitis is like not... Pyelonephritis is flank pain. Pyelonephritis is CV tenderness. Cystitis would be like Dysuria? That's the regular UTI. Is this CV tenderness? Cystitis is bladder. I'm going to say dysuria. Which of the following instructions would be included in a sexually active adolescent's preventative teaching plan about urinary tract infection? Drink acidic juices? Yeah, it says here, which of the following instructions would be included in a sexually active adolescent's preventative teaching plan about UTIs? But it has nothing to do about, like, why did you have to include the fact that they were sexually active? Like, whatever. This is for everybody. 1, wiping back to front, which is wrong because you're supposed to wipe front to back. Wearing nylon underwear, which is wrong because you're supposed to wear cotton underwear. Avoid urinating before intercourse, which is wrong because you should urinate before and after. And 4, drinking acidic juices is correct. So I'm just going to select 4 because that's the only correct answer, which is kind of dumb. What is the most likely underlying pathophysiology of primary enuresis? Enuresis means bedwetting. And what is the most likely underlying pathophysiology of primary enuresis is stress. I have no idea. Secondary vesicouretal reflux usually results from which of the following? Or maybe no, not this one. 3? Results from which secondary the reflux usually results from which of the following? Congenital defects, infection, acidic urine, hydronephrosis. Secondary means it comes from something else, so I'm assuming infection. Which of the following signs and symptoms are characteristic of minimal change nephrotic syndrome? Hypertension, edema, hematuria. Gross hematuria, proteinuria, fever. Poor appetite, proteinuria, edema. Hypertension, edema, proteinuria. 4. For a child with recurring nephrotic syndrome, which of the following areas of potential disturbances should be prime consideration when planning ongoing nursing care? Muscle coordination, sexual maturation, intellectual development, body image. Body image. When teaching parents about known antecedent infections in acute glomerulonephritis, which of the following should the nurse cover? Known antecedents. Impetigo? Which of the following should be avoided if the child has hypospadia? Circumcision, catheterization, surgery, or intravenous pylography? Circumcision, maybe? All right, just in time. Hello, Kate. How are you? So let's see. Number 1, the answer is actually 3. Preschoolers, not school-aged children. So in general, preschoolers have more fears because of their fantasies, contributing to fears of the simplest procedures. Castration fears are also prominent in this age, and may be heightened by procedures related to GU problems. Typically, GU procedures do not create greater stress in infants, toddlers, or school-age children. Oh, I forgot that preschoolers they're scared of being castrated and have magical thinking. I just realized the books are with our logo. Yeah! You're doing well. You're just unwinding after a long day. Well, you deserve a good break and good job for working real hard today. Yeah. Hope you get to relax and unwind, get something nice to eat, and feel refreshed for the next day. Yeah. For number 2, the answers were 2, 5, and 6. I was correct. Fluid intake helps dilute urine and minimize infection potential. Bubble baths and okay, whatever. I already know that information. I'm not going to read it out. Question 3, the answer is 4. E. coli is the most common organism associated with UTIs, although staph, Klebsiella, and Pseudomonas are also other causes. Number 4, the answer was 4, dysuria. I was correct. Dysuria is a symptom of a lower urinary tract infection, such as cystitis. High fever, flank pain, and costovertebral tenderness are signs of pyelonephritis. Okay, I got that right. Proud of myself. Number 5, of course it was 4, is drinking acidic juices such as cranberry juice helps keep the urine at its desired acidic pH and reduces the chance of infection. The client should wipe from, okay, whatever, we know that. Number 6, the answer was 4, delayed bladder maturation. The most likely cause of the primary enuresis is delayed or incomplete maturation of the bladder. UTIs may cause either primary or secondary enuresis, but they are not the leading cause of PE. Psychogenic stress may cause either primary or secondary, but is not leading cause. Also, vesicoureteral is not the leading cause. So the leading cause of primary enuresis is the incomplete maturation of the bladder. Okay. Y'all better take good care of yourselves. You too, but again, you hear? You hear? You hear? Okay. Now, question number 7 is, the answer is number 2. Correct. I hope everybody gets to relax after a long work day. I also had a long work day. Earlier this morning, I came back from work and then I slept and then I'm awake again and now I'm back to work. So infection is the most common cause of secondary vesicoureteral reflux. Congenital defects cause primary, acidic urine is normal, hydronephrosis may result from it. So I was correct. Number 8, the answer is, oh no, number 3, I doubted myself. Poor appetite, proteinuria, and edema. Clinical manifestations of nephrotic syndrome include loss of appetite due to the edema of the intestinal mucosa, proteinuria, and edema. Gross hematuria is not associated with nephrotic syndrome. Fever would occur only if infection also existed, and hypertension alone or accompanied by hematuria is associated with glomerulonephritis. Number 9, the answer is 4. Because of the edema associated with nephrotic syndrome, potential self-concept and body image disturbances related to changes in appearances and social isolation should be considered. Muscle coordination, sexual maturation, and intellectual function are not affected. Number 10 is also 4. Impetigo is a bacterial infection of the skin, may be caused by streptococci, and may precede acute glomerulonephritis. Although most streptococcal infections do not cause acute glomerulonephritis, when they do, a latent period of 10 to 14 days occurs between the infection, usually of the skin or upper respiratory tract, and the onset of clinical manifestations. Herpes, scabies, and varicella are not associated. 11 is 1. I was correct. Hypospadias refers to a condition in which the urethral opening is located. Okay, I already know that. Early recognition is important so that circumcision is avoided. The foreskin is used for surgical repair. Catheterization may be used to ensure urinary elimination. Surgery is the procedure of choice to improve the child's ability to stand when urinating. It also improves the appearance of the penis and preserves sexual adequacy. IVP is contraindicated if the child has an allergy to iodine or shellfish. Okay. Correct. Perfect. I'm so good. Okay. Yeah. Oh. I already know all this stuff. All right, the next part we have is musculoskeletal and neuromuscular dysfunction, which I see all the time as well. It goes over osteogenesis imperfecta, and it's really funny because I actually just took care of a little boy who has osteogenesis imperfecta. It's also known as the brittle bones disease. Developmental dysplasia of the hip is super common. I've seen a lot of babies in the hip casts. Fractures, super common. A lot of kids come in for their fractures and they have to get surgeries for that. Slipped capital femoral epiphysis is another type of dysplasia. Scoliosis. I've taken care of a lot of kids with scoliosis, or we call them scolies. Cerebral palsy. Yep, we have a lot of kids with cerebral palsy. Duchenne's muscular dystrophy is also really common, although I don't think I've taken care of anyone with Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. Actually, I think I have, but I can't remember what the signs and symptoms of them are. I think it's very similar to cerebral palsy. It's some sort of muscular degenerative disorder. Am I good at this? I better score 100% at this damn exam. I'm not that good at taking tests though. Even though I'm very confident in everything in the test, I kind of second guess myself a lot. So I got this. Really? Okay, how many more do we have? We have 1, 2. Wow, neurologic is really long. 3, 4. So actually 4 and 5. Cancer is its own thing, but I'm a pro at cancer because I worked at a infusion center, so I know a lot about the different cancers and chemos. So there's 1. So we're at chapter 16. So there's actually 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 5 more chapters left. And let's see. My exam is in... When is my exam? Next week. It's literally next week. Today is Monday. Oh my god, I just realized, guys. Today is when I have my thing. Today is when I have my educational event. Hold up a second. That means I'm not gonna be... I have to sleep now. Oh. Oh no. When does it start? That is a good question. Let's see. I think it starts at 8. Yeah, it's gonna start at 8 a.m. It's gonna start in literally less than 7 hours. Okay, I'm gonna cut this short. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to end the stream right here because I completely forgot that my training seminar is happening today in quite literally 7 hours. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for watching, and it's a good thing I remembered that, or else I was kind of screwed. At least I didn't remember it too. Exactly. Okay. we're going to wrap this up right now, and I will see you guys next week for some more fun. I want to play some more games with you guys. Hopefully I can get Trauma Center up and working again, but if not, we can just play some more spoopy games. Yeah, thank you guys for being my study buddies today. I really enjoyed having the chats with you. Everybody go get a good rest, and I will hopefully post my schedule for next week soon. I'll definitely post it after my my educational session tomorrow. It finishes around 4. So after that, hopefully I can work on my my schedule. But for now, I'm gonna go sleep and wake up, and then hopefully eat something, and then start my class. Yeah, study for 3 hours straight thanks to this stream. These people, thank you, Shanga. I hope you were able to be very productive today and retain all your information. Go get your rest as well, and enjoy the rest of your study session if you're continuing on. And the rest of you have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in this lovely, lovely world. All right, have a good night, Fee. Sleep tight, Fee. Don't let the bed bugs bite, Fee. Night, night. See you next time. Bye-bye.